CPC annual like jerk off conference is happening at the end of the month. Like Jasmine Lane, the pleb, Mark Nixon, like some other guys were holding like a big get together, but the entries fee, but like the entry fee for like individuals was like $2,000 or some bullshit like that.
That's high. Was it? We're live now. Was it a access to Pierre Poilievre, or was it just the influencers?
It was just the influencer class.
Oh, wow.
I watched a bit of Clyde do something, even though I think he's a bit of a mark sometimes. Yeah. And like him and Frank Vaughn were like talking about it. And I'm like, who is paying $2,000 to meet Jasmine Lane and Mark Nixon? Who cares this much about these people? Yeah. Is Mario? Oh, fuck off.
Mario's in it too.
Wow. That seems weird. That doesn't seem like it's getting us closer to
a fool and his money are easily parted. And sorry to like quickly just go on another tangent. I don't know if you watched it, but Greg put out a great like 10-minute video about him debunking Jasmine Lane's points about why we shouldn't call out the like CPC. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but that was great. That was great, and that's how exactly I've been feeling for like the past 6 months, and people are finally starting to wake up. I'm Nostradamus at this point.
So sometimes I feel like that too. But yeah, no, I did see the Jasmine Lane video where she was saying, why can't we all just get along? And I thought that's
every time we call out the like CPC, we like when has the CPC got better from just sitting back and like twiddling our thumbs?
Well, the CPC has gotten worse.
Well, like for like as an example, it's like Greg's point. The like trucker convoy is why we have Pierre Poilievre as the leader, and that was a mistake. I think it was a mistake because what making Pierre Poilievre did is it put all the like nationalist dissident energy behind the like establishment or like an arm of the establishment as opposed to actual like grassroots activism. Greg talked about on Speaking Moistly that there's a lot of dissident energy in Canada against the establishment, but the issue is that it's pulled in like 5 or 6 different directions, so it's not really as effective as it could be.
Yeah. He makes some good points. I don't think the CPC, he thinks that pressuring the CPC, and I mean like we had a good conversation about it. Yeah, well, we had a good conversation. It does, but we had a good conversation about it on the Speaking Moistly you're talking about, like the last one, where he thinks that pressuring the CPC is a way to bring change. And if the CPC starts talking about it, then, maybe they'll move on it. And I can't help but notice like our leaders, by and large, will tell us whatever we want to hear. And then when they get into position of power, they don't actually do those things. They'll bring in gun buybacks or they'll partner with China for whatever reason.
The CPC is as much as a slave to, like, say, the like dairy cartel and Sikh lobby as the like liberals and NDP are. In fact, we saw, like I mentioned in the green room, where like the CPC did not have the balls enough to like collapse the government when the Bloc proposed amendments to the budget. We saw that the CPC were cowards on their principles. They're not a principled party, and trying to lobby them to make them a principled party, in my opinion, is a completely wrong angle. I watched a clip of what Jeremy Mackenzie was saying on one of his Instagram lives or Rumble lives, and he's like, we shouldn't be trying to truly draw the party more to the center, because every time the CPC has done that, spoiler alert, they have lost. They have lost like 3 elections at this point. And honestly, the only people on the right who I've seen are actually that are doing on the grounds, as I call it, like say guerrilla activism, are Jeremy Mackenzie and Second Sons, and then Dominion Society, and then like Alberta Separation. These are the only groups that are actually ground like grassroots activism and making an effort. And what do all 3 of those groups have in common? They are shunned by the status quo. Well, and that's what we should take away from that.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, to your point about the CPC running to the center instead of hold on, let me make my point. Hold on, Max, come on.
Sorry.
The CPC running to the center. Everybody says that Donald Trump's positions are abhorrent or something like that. They say, oh yeah, Donald Trump, those positions are bad. But he's won, I think, 3 elections handily with those positions, and people seem to like him. even though they maybe can't get a handle on exactly what he's doing, they seem to like what he's doing in the United States. And so if we had a political party that wasn't completely censored in Canada, that was articulating things that were similar to positions like Trump is taking, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I think that they would be wildly popular. But we have a managed system, and they tell us a story, and then they justify the story, and that's our election. And it's not real. It's just it's a fake election. It's bullshit. And I think the CPC knows that as well as the LPC. Yeah, everybody knows it. And so
what's funny is that people like to call it a certain facet of the system, and that facet of the system can be like, say, like an influencer here and there, a party here and there. But in reality, it's one big machine. Yep. Think of it as like, I don't know what's the best way I can think of it, but like say a highly secure bank vault. The parties exist to like counter out each other. The mainstream exists to fight with like the like online establishment, right? Everything has a balance and a counterbalance to like equal each other out. So nothing really gets done. Some influencers say, oh, we want to get the like CPC in there, and that's magically going to change our problems. When it's not. When in reality, we should find a way to like break into the bank vault and get what's in there, and not replace one cog with another.
Yep.
Which is, I find, a very stupid argument by like the like online right.
yeah. The arguments they make don't hold water. And then when you point out that they don't hold water, or that it's divisive and that we should be united and like find common ground and whatever, then they get very angry with you and they block you. And you know what I mean? Like,
I find it funny that like Greg's fine debating anybody, but they don't want to debate him.
Yep.
I find that awfully funny.
I don't even bother trying because they're disingenuous. If you debate a lefty and win, they'll forget all about it the next day, and they'll still talk about they'll just come back with their talking points, and it's just brutal. Yeah. I want to refocus a little bit, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happened. No, I just started live streaming, and I just wanted to get started because I like to get started. I wanted to talk about China. I want to talk about Greenland. I want to talk about Trump's going to get Greenland, and he's probably going to get Canada because we're acting stupid. We're acting like bad. We're acting in bad faith vis-a-vis trade deals, vis-a-vis the China thing. I can't believe Trump was like, yeah, whatever, it's cool, everything's fine. I love this deal. I love the idea of this deal. That's what they should be doing. What?
Force on the line.
Like what? We have to have Greenland for national security. China, Canada, that's fine. That's no problems whatsoever. Okay, Trump. Doesn't make any sense. And like, he clearly knows it doesn't make any sense. So that's weird. I don't understand that. I want to get into that kind of stuff. I want to talk about the fact that the official opposition hasn't said a damn thing about it at all. They're silent. They're absent. Like sometimes they're like, "Oh, you can't do that," but there's no plan. There's nothing. Like, there's no plan.
On like a milk carton at this point.
Yeah,
or like the CPC's logo on the back of a milk carton. Where are they?
They're gone. MC's walking away, but I was just going to ask him what. You can take us away. I want to talk about Minnesota as well and all the fraud, because I think it's happening here. And go ahead, MC. Thanks, Max.
Well, I'm sorry to drag you back a little bit, but the fake right is a bunch of normies. Like, right? I
don't know how you can miss it. I don't know how you could miss what's going on. Like you have to be. No. You have to. Well, I can't miss it. I look at it every day, and I'm like, oh my god. Even television shows now, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're doing it too. Like once you see the magician's trick, you can't stop seeing the trick. You're like, he's doing it again. He's doing it again.
Once you take the red pill, it's hard to take.
Yeah.
Like blue pill again.
But that's us. Right? Yeah. If you're a normie and then you're like, I'm sick of all this crap by the government, then they have to parachute in a fake right that you can look at and go, oh yeah, that's the alternative.
Those are the people who haven't lost their minds. Iran? Iran seems like a psyop. So speaking of the Iran psyop is the same as the Iraq psyop. Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. What's his name? Had chemical weapons. Yeah, Gaddafi and Assad. Assad had in Syria. Syria had chemical weapons. Have to go in. We have to go in.
Who becomes the superpower in the Middle East?
Well, they're good, but Yeah, but it might be about removing a place that doesn't have a Rothschild bank. It might be about removing it might be about so many things.
Who becomes the middle?
Well, right.
Superpower in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Tell me this.
It's more like the Ukraine style, right? It's more like trying to do a regime change by stimulating protests and taking out the government.
Yep.
But like on China, like Trump's busy, right?
I don't think he knew the circumstances of the deal. I don't think he knew anything.
Circumstances of the deal? I haven't heard the actual circumstances of the deal.
The basics of the deal. Well, we're tightening security partnership. We're tightening a whole bunch of different other things up to security partnership with China for whatever reason. We're removing 94% because it's 100%. We're keeping 6% tariffs on their EVs coming into Canada, and they're taking, or they might take, rapeseed at right now it's at 86% tariff, and they're talking about taking it at 14% or something like that, taking the 86% tariff down to 14%, which I don't know if that matches what was before. Like I don't know if that makes it a profitable crop or whatever. How's it going, Scott? So like I genuinely don't know where that falls compared to where it was, but it seems like they're trying to make a deal and justify it by saying we're not doing anything that has to do with national security. We're just trying to diversify our trade away from the United States, which...
Well, tightening your security relationship is all about national security.
Right. Well, and how can you make that? How can you make those two comments? Right. Like, right. That's what I thought right away. I was like, what? That doesn't make sense.
But also that is just a bunch of words, right? You can't, we're going to tighten our security relationship. What do you say about that? Well, but when you get some specific examples coming out, then the states can do something about
what does it mean for the Five Eyes? Like I showed on my show this morning, a representative from the United States, I can't remember who it was exactly, talking about how like this isn't a tomorrow thing or next week thing. This is a today thing. We have to reevaluate Canada's access to the Five Eyes and this and this and this because of national security. And so like it seems to me that our government is doing its best to blow up trade between the United States and Canada, or CUSMA or USMCA, whatever you want to call it. Champagne was asked about it in Qatar. Qatar is not in the top 30 of trade, like the top 30 countries. I read just before coming on here. I haven't verified that, but we don't trade a lot with Qatar as far as I understand it. And so why is the Prime Minister in Qatar right now? How does that make any sense? But
it's a lot easier for him to be out of Canada than it is for him to be in Canada.
Yeah,
right. When he's out of Canada, he always looks like bad to me, but a whole bunch of other people, he always looks worse when he's at home. So it's in his best interest to stay away. As for the Five Eyes, I mean, we haven't been trusted for years. That's why the whole Michaels thing still seems kind of ridiculous to me. What espionage capability does Canada have? And why would Canada go spy on their masters in China?
Fair questions.
Like when the Five Eyes are meeting, or they sitting around like going like, okay, America, you're going to handle the Western Hemisphere, and you Brits are going to handle Europe, and Australia, you've got Southeast Asia there, and we'll help you out with that. And Canada, we'd like to know what Xi Jinping's favorite color is. Yeah.
Here's a coloring page, Canada.
Could you use your awesome like it was always ridiculous.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
I mean, that'd be easy to find out his favorite color because CSIS has been compromised, so it'll probably be pretty easy to find that out.
Indeed. Well, yeah, it is. It's worrisome, and I wonder. Like, I think that and Noel, sorry, you've got your hand up, and we've been waiting for a while. But I don't think that we have the option in Canada. I think we've squandered our options. We don't have leverage. We don't have money coming in. We're very rich. We've just created laws and circumstances where we can't access or sell those riches or develop those riches or anything like that. And so I don't think we have the option of choosing neither China or the United States. We're going to stand on our own as our own country like we have for the last 150 years. I don't know that ultimately when the rubber meets the road, when whatever's Trump's dreaming of is actioned, I don't know that we're going to get the choice. But if we do have a choice between China or the United States, I don't see how culturally people would be like, China, let's do China, please. Right. Like, and the whole TDS of like hate Trump. So run into Xi Jinping's loving arms. Like, this seems weird to me. Is this working on anybody?
Well, on the other hand, there's an element of convenience, right? Because now instead of conscripting us to go get killed by the Russians, they can conscript us to go get killed by the Americans, which is a lot closer.
I guess it's a lot, yeah, geographically. I thought they were conscripting us to get killed by MAID early, so we don't cost them anything in our twilight years.
How do you get that weak, like in your head, that you just like, I'm just going to give up because the world is hard? Well, they made us that, right?
They told us, yeah. They said, stop having kids. Kids shouldn't be brought into this unbelievable world. And then people started having pets, and they're like, you know what? Your pet might have COVID. We got to kill it. Like, holy smoke, man. Thanks, MC. It's a wild world, and I think it's inexplicable that we just kind of roll over and we're like, yeah, it's fine. It's good. At least there's chocolate cereal. Thanks, MC. Noel.
Okay. First off, I think Xi Jinping or Winnie the Pooh, his favorite color is the color of honey. Obvious. Like, we should all know that.
So you want me in the gulag. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Ni hao.
Again, everybody talks about TDS, but nobody talks about CDS, because there is a boat ton of people that have CDS, which is carney derangement syndrome, of they believe in them. Yeah. Now, I want to just give a small little touch on the maritime provinces with our gas prices are bucking still through the roof. Pardon my language, but like we're at $1.32, $1.33 a liter.
In the morning, it's $1.27 in Ontario. In the evening, it's $1.12, $1.14. So they reduce the price. Costco is usually somewhere between like $1.17 type deal. If it's $1.27, it'll be $1.17 all day. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, it does. Really, obviously. But so for the lobster tariff removal, well, let's just unpack that for a second. Lobster season started down here in November, and
I think it was just for May. I think it was just for soy. Or
no.
Canola. Was there lobster in there too?
Lobster is going to have its tariffs removed in March to December of this year only. So
that's lobster season.
If we sort of want to unpack this for a quick second, our lobster season is from November to May. So you've only given our lobster fishermen maybe March, April, and 3 weeks in May. So you've really not opened up anything for them that's going to make any rational difference, because right now we don't have the lobster going to China. Price of lobster is really cheap. I know down in Ontario you guys are paying a lot of money for it, but it's cheap down here, $5-8 a pound. So they're not going to see any raise in the money that they're going to get from this China whole thing. Plus, you want the cold season lobster. After March, they start to they get a softer shell. You know, your hauls are a lot less. So it just proves that the Canadian government has no bloody idea of how to help anybody, and they'll tell you that they're helping you while they're stamping on your foot at the same time.
Well, look at the CFIA, the guys who.
They don't have an ostrich. But in the same sense with this Emergencies Act, I don't know. It doesn't make me whole. I don't think it makes anybody else in here whole. Mm-hmm. I remember October 21. I had a job, I had a career, working, fixing airplanes, building airplanes, and I worked on Trudeau's airplane. And, that was all taken away because of Trudeau saying that if you are on a plane, train, or an automobile, including working on them, that if you weren't vaccinated, that you were graciously removed from your career. So when are we going to make people like that whole, like myself?
I was saying on my show today, I don't really want anything other than people in handcuffs.
Me too.
That's the only accountability I remunerating me for lost revenue on my YouTube account. I mean, there could be an argument, right? Giving me money in compensation for freezing my bank account. there could be an argument, but really what I want for Christmas 2026 is handcuffs for Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland and all of the other people.
It's funny though how Chrystia leaves, Legault, he's now resigning. You got all these snakes that were out there that they're trying to run and hide now.
Mm-hmm. And Freeland's in Ukraine.
Well, does she live in Ukraine or does she live in England yet, or is it England in July?
I think she's commuting. I think it's like weekends. She's in Ukraine to do her unpaid voluntary job with Zelensky, and then during the week she's in England for the Rhodes Scholarship to make sure that Marxist communists get into the Rhodes Scholarship and nobody else.
No, I agree with Scott. She's at a laundromat in Ukraine, and she just got bales of money and just washing
it. Center.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks, Noel. Max.
Yeah, I just also want to say, why is this Emergency Act stuff even news? Nothing's going to happen, and
to demoralize us.
And that's the thing. Like everyone's like, oh man, this is great, bro. But nothing matters, and even like the people that were involved with the like convoy, all the key players, I can think of at least 4. They're all doing completely different things and really can't organize something to that same effectiveness. I know Barber, Chris Barber's now with the Sask prosperity project. BJ Dichter ran off with like all the crypto down to Florida.
Yep.
I don't know what Pat King's doing. I haven't heard the hide or hair from him. And then like Tamara, he was working with like Rebel. But all these people are now doing completely different things, and there's no way to organize something along those lines. And in the end, it doesn't matter because no one's going to face any consequences. I would actually be happy about this if Trudeau was like extracted from his like date with like Katy Perry and put in fucking handcuffs, but that's not going to happen. So like, why does this matter? And why is the right claiming this is such a big victory when in reality these same tools are still in place and they will do it again? Just give it time. Whether it's going to happen today or tomorrow, it's still going to happen.
Yeah, somebody was saying that. I can't remember.
Was it Pat King?
No, it was in direct response to what you were just saying, but it's totally flown out of my head. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I just don't understand why we're making this a big deal when there's been no actual reform to our system to ensure this can't happen again.
They were saying if there's no consequences, if it's illegal or they did it improperly and there's no consequences for anybody, then what are the deterrents for them to do it again? That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, my point.
Yeah, well, right. And it is inconceivable that we will let everybody just get away scot-free with this, but also equally inconceivable that we will do anything and hold anybody accountable. Because like, if you try and confirm a Supreme Court justice like Kavanaugh, you have this unbelievable circus, right? They go crazy. They go crazy.
Like I guarantee that government is going to use our tax dollars to like appeal this to like the like Supreme Court when all those judges were like saying some very political stuff about the convoy. Mm-hmm. So frankly, it's not going to matter. Just give it time because they have the whole machine behind them, and Chris Barber had like his like semi truck. Mm-hmm. So frankly, what are you going to do against the like whole machine? I'm not trying to like disparage the like truckers or any of these grassroots movements, but what can you really do against the whole machine?
You can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. It's not going to be Chris Barber and Tamara Lich and the original convoy organizers who do whatever comes next. Whatever comes next is going to, I haven't seen anybody on the world stage making more moves than Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has stated that he's going to get Canada through economic pressure, and we haven't seen anything yet. And we are going to see things soon, right? I think 2026 is going to be enlightening in many ways. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing rolls out. But I don't know.
Just to like put a nice little bow on like what I want to say about the whole trucker like ruling is that this ruling and the aftermath is exactly what you said would happen with like the debate versus you against John Carpe. Nothing's gonna happen. No one's gonna face any real consequences. Oh boy, guys, we got a small win in court. It doesn't matter. They are the machine. They will do this again, and there's no real sense of justice. And like I like Carpe. I like respect what like he does, but he's a fundamental. But like he's a fool if he doesn't understand that this doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and I have to wonder, like, if why can't other people see it, or maybe they're incentivized not to see it. Maybe their whole existence relies on this kind of continued battle. So
like the JCCF lives off donos, so like they have a reason to trust the system because they're getting the money from it. Same with Rebel News, they have a reason to trust the system because people are paying them to quote unquote fight the system. It's like part of me thinks that everybody on the right in Canada, everyone with a media personality, with the exception of a few, doesn't want the left to actually lose because they can continue to just grift off it. And we've seen that time and time again.
I don't disagree. Thanks, Max. MC?
Well, Max, that ruling is not about you and me and anyone that's here today. That ruling is about reassuring the normies. Look, the system does work. Eventually, the judges said that they did a bad thing. What else happens after that? Nothing serious, obviously, because we don't hold anyone accountable. And as for handcuffs for those guys, for sure. But also for their owners. You have to get their owners. If you don't get the only option if you don't get their owners is to impose a penalty that's so extreme that anyone else goes, wait a minute, I don't want to work for you. Look what happened to those guys.
Well, Scott nailed it. He said, we're captured by globalist interests. So look at what's going on with Trump. If you get somebody, and I mean, right or wrong and bravado and bluster aside, his moves are the moves of somebody who looked at a balance sheet. It seems like to me, and I'm not an expert, so I'm just saying, I'm reacting with kind of what I see. But it looks to me like he looked at the balance sheet. He had an idea of what he expected to see. When he saw something different, he thought to himself, how can I improve this? I can cut this, I could do this, I could do this. And I mean, again, I have issues with Trump and his closeness with Israel, et cetera, et cetera. But he, by and large, by a lot of his moves, looks to be doing things that would benefit his country. And the headwinds he's getting are unbelievable. It's like saying, you can't do that to benefit your country, sir. That's illegal. International law says you can't have a closed border. That's racist. And that's obviously not true, right? It's obviously clearly not true. And so when you have somebody in Canada who starts behaving in the best interest of the country, they're going to say, Mark, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's racist. And then the news media will say, racist Mark is racist at it again, racist. And all of a sudden, everybody will start calling me racist. And it doesn't matter, even if I have 4 years in, I don't know how Trump's going to unwind it. Like, aside from crashing the whole friggin' system, if he actually is successful at unwinding it, or if he even attempts, I like solving problems. I like solving software problems. I like following connections. This works. This doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Follow it. But looking at this problem, there are so many variables and so many corrupt pathways that following it is nearly impossible. If you start following one, you make a phone call to Zelensky, they impeach you. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to do this, and they will crush you if you do this. And I don't even know, it looks to me like Trump's had, this is the third presidency that he's been involved in actively fighting against this. So Trump 1, Biden years, Trump 2. So he's in the 9th year of fighting this, right? So 4 and then the 1. And it doesn't look like he's close at winning this. And also it doesn't look like everybody else is close to understanding what the hell's going on. I start explaining this and people, if people aren't watching my show and I get caught in a conversation with somebody, they're very interested in what's going on because I lay it out and I'm like, this is happening. They're very, very interested. But most people just don't know. Most people have no friggin' clue what's going on, And how can you win this war without telling people what's going on at some point, right? I thought people would be read in. I have no idea. I don't know how they went.
People don't want to know what's going on.
No, they sure don't. They sure don't. That's true. That's very true. And like, even about themselves, yeah, there's so many things people don't want to know. They're like, nope, I'm not really interested. Thanks very much. I'm just going to continue. Sometimes I'm guilty of the same thing, right? I'm going to eat my chocolate cereal and I don't care. Glyphosates, whatever, glyphosates. Get in here, you delicious chocolate cereal. Thanks, MC. Ryan?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I was wondering, with the trucker convoy and the Emergencies Act there, well, I heard that actually all the court cases cost about the taxpayers like $10 million. Yeah. The lawyers got paid, the Crown got paid, the judges got paid, they got their money. And Carpe, he was saying that with this, when this happened, that actually they might start a way of suing the actual individuals that put that in place.
I hope so.
Not the government. So I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but and also he was talking about that right now they should put with that Emergencies Act like a law saying if you abuse that, you can be fined like millions or be put in prison.
What would be better? What would be better?
Stop the next person from doing that.
What would be better though is to throw Justin Trudeau in jail for 1,000 years and say you're not allowed to do things like turning the other, like inciting violence against quote unvaccinated people. I don't I don't want to. No, like let's not say stuff like that, Max. Please, thank you. Not on the show here.
Sorry. Exactly, man. Yeah, it should be that way. But
that's how you send a message. You don't send a message by changing laws. Next time we'll get them. Well, they're not going to do it the same way next time. Like they're not going to do that next time. They're going to do something that quote complies with the law. And the fact is, what happened was not legal, and so they should be held accountable. And there should be a severe penalty. And it's just like the Biden auto pen thing. Trump was talking about this. The Biden auto pen thing was an illegitimate presidency run through committee, and like that's crazy. Like we've lived through some crazy shit, and we have not seen any kind of accountability at all. Like we're going to lock down the entire economy, and we're going to print unending money to stimulate the economy, and don't ask questions or you're a vaccine denier.
You can sit down in the restaurant and take the mask off.
Yeah.
Stand up. You got to put it back on. The
virus. COVID just knows.
They have to, they have to know. Like the powers that be have to know that people are going to stop listening to them because what they're saying is completely illegitimate. Like it's totally illegitimate.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I just want to say one more thing, and I kind of thought this was kind of funny because, like, you go on YouTube and you type in Mark Carney's NWO comment, and it'll come up, and at the bottom, it says Wikipedia.
Yep.
The New World Order is the term often used in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So all you had to do is go to Wikipedia, and he could explain it that way.
Yeah.
But he went off on word salad. And it was funny. I thought that was funny.
That warning was on my video that I titled New World Order. And I thought it was creepy how Mark Carney paused like between each word. I was like, what do you like? Can you say?
That speech reminded me of like the third Star Wars prequel when like Palpatine is like addressing the Senate and then the Republic becomes the Empire. Yep. It was the exact same like vibe and cadence.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Carney, he's lying because Wikipedia says something totally different than what he said.
Yeah. Mark Carney he hasn't even read Wikipedia, that idiot.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Steve.
But
sorry.
This won't stop them from doing the same thing again. Just the next emergency will be different.
Yeah.
It'll be a different, this isn't COVID, you guys. This is this other thing that's way more dangerous because of this and this. So we have to do all this crap because it's an emergency.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. And they are not above just lying to you. They're not above looking you square in the eye and just lying to you about like masks don't make you safer. COVID doesn't know if you're standing or sitting. You know, they will lie to you about all of these things, and they will feel morally superior because this marginally helps according to their data, which the data is bunk too. So like the whole thing is bunk. The whole thing's ridiculous. I don't want to not talk about Greenland, by the way. So we're going to do Steve, and then we're going to talk about Greenland. Steve, thanks, MC. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, making it quick. Getting back to China. Nobody in Canada does any homework on China. You know, like I watch these guys, Serpenza and Lao Wei 86, the China show. They pop up.
Nice.
They're really good. Anyway, long story short. Why is it that 50 factories have just burnt to the ground in China all the time? Well, it's because they don't pay their people, right? Yeah. It's serious. It's a serious thing. The poverty is unreal. And 45% of China, the people make under $1,700 a year.
Wow.
Right? Okay, so you look at that, and the whole China one kid policy, they don't want to send their kids to war. That's the only kid they have. You know what I mean? So there's big things that people don't understand, and Canadians need to have a really good look at how China's run, you know, and then look at thy neighbor and things in Canada, and those who are truly wanting to run from China, or those who are deposited here for serious, like honestly, slightly nefarious reasons. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to create that divide. I'm trying to just create awareness.
Yep.
Like,
people don't know.
China isn't necessarily your friend, man.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Well, in Canada, I agree. Scott was saying that Scott was saying in the chat, and I just want to highlight it a bit, that China is organ harvesting and killing people for organ harvesting. And he said
they have a fast lane at the airport for organs. Come on now.
Ukraine too, and but like you guys have to understand, that's what MAID is. That's what the MAID program is. I think a lot of people are opted in to organ donation as a matter of course, and people think it's a good thing. You can't be dead when they harvest your organs. The organs can't be harvested from dead people. You can't harvest organs from dead people. People don't understand that. People think that person's dying.
Do you have a good doc that you would recommend to watch about like Chinese organ like harvesting? Do you have a good doc or like series that you would recommend? Just genuinely curious because I've heard a lot about it, but I don't know like ins and depth.
What about the MAID stuff? Is that what you're getting at?
No, about the like Chinese organ harvesting. Do you have a good documentary to watch on it?
Not as of yet. Just there is a Canadian ex-military girl that's tagging the MAID thing in Canada pretty hard. I forget her name, but she's quite on it, man. She's got the stats dialed.
I think that it's a matter of telling the citizens a story. I don't think that there's much difference, and I could be wrong. So do feel free to educate me in the comments or in an email or response or something like that. I'm fine with being informed. But I don't know that there's orders of magnitude difference between China killing people for organ harvesting and Canada bringing MAID online and then essentially doing the same thing. It's a different way to sell the same result at the end. And like the authoritarian regime doesn't give a shit what the population thinks, so they just do it. They're like, yeah, well, you're part of a population that we don't find whatever. There's some excuse. Your population is no good. We're going to take you guys and kill you. And then in Canada, we say, if you want to self-identify, you self-identify and we'll kill you and take your organs. And like the difference is not much.
Minute.
Yeah, it's not that much. Yeah, it's kind of yucky.
You know, nothing ever happened with the Winnipeg lab thing and all these people that they took our stuff and patented it in China. What's to say that doesn't keep happening again and again and again?
Well, now we're best buddies. We can travel to China without a visa. And that's probably going to be reciprocal. Yeah. So those guys why
do we have 400,000 Canadian citizens that live in China at least? What are they doing there? I thought they're Canadians. You know, I'm asking those questions.
Well, Canada keeps making other people Canadian citizens just by parentage and things like that. Like, oh, you have a second you have a grandfather that was Canadian. You know, like 3 generations back. You're now Canadian too. Everybody's Canadian. We're all Canadian.
That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like nobody asked the questions, right?
Yep. Thanks, Steve. MC.
Well, so does organ transplanting, like, okay, you can't get organs from dead people, but does it even work at all? Because the recipients don't seem to have a great time either. Like, you have to take anti-rejection drugs. Like, someone else's organ doesn't seem to belong in your body if you have to like fight against your own immune system to make your body accept it.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like the whole thing is a big, like, well, you take, I don't know how much the anti-rejection drugs cost, but I guess if you still have money in your bank account, then they can come and get it if they can get you to take somebody else's organ. Like,
What do you mean we're not Lego? Come on.
Yeah. There are ways. I saw a new post about this the other day about regrowing teeth using a frequency device that you put on your tooth. And I saw this on the news in 2006 on CTV News, and the guy had miniaturized it and he was, promoting it and the whole deal. He's like, this is going to change dentistry. And I don't think they have it on the shelf now, like where it looked like it was shelf ready then. And so like, I think that there's not necessarily technology out there, but the potential for technology out there to, I don't know, regenerate organs or whatever if you have the right frequency. But I think an argument could be made. And no, I don't think that organs are interswappable without the rejection meds or anything like that. And that's notable. Like, that's something that we should talk. Like, yes, we can do this. Is this the right solution for this? You know what I mean?
My sister was in med school and stuff, and they had this whole project, and she put stocks in it, and they could regenerate only bone, but only certain parts of the jaw that had certain enzymatic reactions that were close to certain eustachian tubes and enzymatic reaction, and they were really close, she said. So she put a bunch of stock in that. So I hear what you're saying, Mark.
Yeah.
Is that teeth regrowing guy still alive?
I genuinely don't know. I was asleep until about 2014, 2015, and it was Pizzagate. And people like Pizzagate that woke me up because I worked in children's mental health for a long, long time. And I knew what I was looking at when I saw those pictures. And I was like, holy shitballs, these people are going to be arrested. And when they weren't, I was like, holy shitballs. And then I had to find out, what kind of society do we live in? And I've been shocked every day ever since. Because it's so much worse.
Mark, it's like those astronauts that can take that gel, like the movie Leviathan. They can take this gel in, and they can just remove all their lung butter. They have a system where they can literally regenerate their lung, and through a system process. It's been around for 20 years, but it's not accepted anywhere else. But astronauts can take it, and deep sea military guys have that, and so that makes you wonder.
All this medical technology that we're not allowed to access. Well, and have you? I was talking about the borax conspiracy. It's not borax, it's borax. And
you've been making me laugh for days about that. It's borax, man. Just say it really quick.
Borax. The woman looked at me like I had two heads. It was so funny. I was like, am I saying that weird? Like, anyway, there are things that, like, my shoulder is feeling better. My shoulder has been effed for a long time. It has been, I work out, I lift weights. I do a linear progression in LP, the Gray Skull LP. I recommend it. I think it's really, really good. I'm in my mid 40s. And so I was expecting to have to lighten up or stay at the same weight. I can't keep a linear progression is you add 5 pounds every week until you can't anymore. Then you drop 20 and then you do it all again. And so
I've heard about that. I'm a glucosamine fan.
But my shoulder, my shoulder has prevented me from doing bench press for September, October of last year. And then I injured my shoulder, and I have no idea how I injured my shoulder. But the bench press was, every day I would do bench press. Every day I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And like, I've got to figure out something to like fix this. And then I woke up one day and I could barely move my shoulder. I was like, oh my gosh, this is done. And I watched the borax conspiracy, and now my shoulder hurts much less. And it's only been a week, and I hear it takes up to 3 weeks to have a full remission of certain symptoms. And I'm blown away. And so, like, there's certain things that people know about.
I'm curious. Let us know. Keep me in tune on the experiment. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know for sure yet, because my shoulder still does hurt. It's not gone entirely. But I did bench press with 100 pounds. So usually my bench press is 200. And I did bench press and I stopped. I dropped down to 150 as maintenance, and I stopped in September, October, because I was like, I'm just doing damage here. Like, this is not good. And I did 100 pounds and it felt light, and my shoulder did not. And my hypothesis was, and I've been resting, like, to try and get back into it. I thought, I just haven't rested enough. I just need to rest, and I'll stop. I'll stop for a while and I'll get back into it.
Super interesting, Mark. I work overhead with Hilti guns with concrete and putting in tabs and stuff constantly.
Buddy,
with
go watch it. Go watch it.
Okay.
Go watch it. I'm going to put it on. Somebody else was asking me where the link is. I'm going to put it on Canada. I'm going to put it on CanadaReport.co at the top of things that I'm watching. It's not there yet, but it'll be there by the end of today. So
I'm
if you're
subscribed. I'll check that out. That's
you should.
Interesting.
You
Thanks,
should.
Man.
And be skeptical. Be skeptical. Like, I'm still skeptical, but I'm skeptical
I'm
of
always
everything.
skeptical.
Yeah,
You
man.
know me already.
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
skeptical.
That's good. That's the way to be. So yeah, I think that there's weird things that they keep from us, like not just being able to regrow teeth and not just being able to, part of the premise of the borax conspiracy is that if they got rid of this class, because what it does is it hardens your bones, and so all the hip replacements and all of that stuff would not be necessary if everybody had kind of this supplement.
Sports injuries, it's $1 billion business.
Yeah, so that the sports injuries, not even sports injuries, but usually like hip replacements and things like for old people, right? And less old people these days are what subsidize the rest of the medical industry. And so like, and not exactly all of it, but that's part of the premise in the documentary. It says, if they fix this problem, if everybody knew that, if everybody knew how cheap and easy it was to fix this problem, nobody would have these issues, and the healthcare industry would not be as well funded. And like, so it's one of those things. And again, like, I don't think that there are some things the healthcare industry has been like, I'm super glad we have the healthcare industry because, you didn't die from, you got penicillin, you didn't die from this infection or something like that. Yay. Like modern medicine's great. But at the same time, I wondered to myself, if you knew that if you got rid of this class of surgeries, that the whole medical system would collapse on itself, then for the greater good, you allow people to be deficient in this thing that causes bone brittleness, that causes these injuries to be at around where they are now, and you just look the other way. And is that bad? Is that the greater good is served because healthcare is subsidized, but also, right? Like, I don't know.
So it's a giant waste.
I would like
to ask you, how much borax do you take?
The recommended dose is a 1/4 teaspoon for men per day. I've read to take it for 5 days on and 2 days off, but you pee out anything that you don't use. Like your body balances you out anyway. So if you overdose, it'll just anything you don't need, you urinate out. There is a dose that's too high, but it's so high that like you wouldn't accidentally take it. Right. So like they talk about that. Hold on. I want to say the other one.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
For women, it's 1/8. It's 1/8 teaspoon. So men 1/4, women 1/8, and 5 days on, 2 days off. But I've also read that you can just take it every day and it's fine. So, and I've also, the other thing is if you're very deficient, you can double dose. So like take double the dose. But I don't know. It was just a woman talking about her experience, and she said for a while I took double the dose because I was so deficient. Blah 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 blah. But I don't know about that. So not medical advice. Check it out for yourself and make your own decisions. But super interesting.
I'll do you a solid. I'll read the ingredients. My first education was biochem.
Yeah.
I'll break it all down and tell you what that is. Okay, I'll do my homework for you. Okay.
Well, please do. Yeah, no, it's 99% pure. It is mined by one company. It's the Horse and Cattle Company or something like that. And it's been mined in Turkey and California. It's been done the same way for the last 100 odd years. In 1885 or something like that, it was not touted as a miracle cure, but it was in every household being used as a cure for certain ailments. And everybody pretty much knew, it was common knowledge at that point in time. And then it changed as as 1900 as the Rockefellers took over healthcare. So people say it changed for that reason, but it's done exactly the same, and it's 99%. Like the borax itself, I'm getting it so wrong. Itself is comes right out of the ground, and you have to dilute it. You can't just put it on food or something like that, like salt. You have to dilute it. And one of the women that I was watching said, like, don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, don't be stupid. But yeah,
people tell me that all the time.
Right. Me too. I mean, I think it comes from a place of not concern, care. I think it comes from a place of care. Smarten up is also one that I grew up with. Smarten up, Mark. You've got a brain, use it. God gave you a brain, utilize it. Yes. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate it. Yes, you did. Anyway, thank you, MC. And Ryan, get your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some information. You can go check out. It's a Tesla Club, and it's the plasma healing machine, and it's been around for about a year and a half. And I don't know if you know Anna Marie Mahalshe. She was against the COVID and stuff like that. Well, she's a scientist, doctor, everything. She's been trying to heal people with frequencies and different things too. So she has 2 of these machines, and she's getting rid of cancers, like tumors that are just falling off in a week. Totally getting and if you go to Dollar Vigilante and watch Jeff, he has a whole bunch of people talking about this plasma machine and what they're being healed from. Sports, this kid in sports, he broke his Achilles heel tendon.
Oh no, yeah, that's done, man.
That takes about a year, but he was back playing his sports in 6 months, all healed up, and he's winning trophies.
Interesting, yeah. Have you heard of Rife machines?
So you guys, just give you some information.
Rife machines are the same. I think it's RIFE, Rife, and and it's basically based on the same premise of healing through frequency, and that lines up with the idea of being able to regrow a tooth with frequency. Now, the one thing that I read as well, and I don't want to go too far into this because I want to talk about Greenland. But no, it's okay. But like, you can't grow an eye where your tooth is. The frequency to grow an eye is different, and you have to have a receiving frequency. So like, you can grow an eye here, but you can't grow an eye like here. You know what I'm saying? So you can grow a tooth here, but you can't grow an eye here, right? Yeah. Anyway, because of different frequencies and like a different receiving frequency. Like this tooth thing, it's like, oh, I expect this, I'm going to grow. Whereas if it was an eye, it'd be like, whoa, hold on, dude, I don't need to see in there. You know, like, so. Yep. Okay, thanks. Max, and then we're going to talk about Greenland, unless you're taking us to Greenland. Thanks,
I was
Fred.
taking us to like Greenland. Don't worry.
Let's do it.
What do we think? So we know Trump's going to get Greenland. It's a matter of time.
He sure is.
This certainly looks like to be like Fortress North America Club of Rome stretch goal. It's very interesting to see the moves being made. I'm curious how it's going to be stymied, or if it's just going to go right through. And then once Trump gets Greenland, I predict it's either going to be us or like the cartels down in Mexico. Yeah, that is my prediction.
Why not both?
Well, yeah.
Canada doesn't have much of a military, right? Like, if I was Trump, I'd be more worried about the firepower the cartels could bring, because the Americans were arming them all through Obama, right? So I don't know, man. It's certainly interesting, and yeah, I think that it is not exactly a foregone conclusion, but Trump, again, I keep going back to these chess analogies. Trump is 4 or 5 moves ahead. Europe is way behind. They don't have leverage for the moves they're making. it's like somebody.
This is Trump establishing like his like supply lines, at least the way I see it.
Yeah, I can see that, and well, just overall control of the West. It's the Monroe Doctrine, overall control of the Western Hemisphere. But yeah, it is. I think that like if Trump is outfoxed Europe so badly that Macron is panicking and saying that they're going to use trade embargoes and trade tariffs and things like that against the United States, they've lost the plot. They were begging the United States to reduce tariffs on Europe because it would wreck European wine, it would wreck European automakers, but they ruined themselves, Jaguar, and other things. So it's like, I'm not confused, but they don't have the leverage. It's like when somebody in chess moves their queen out and you take that queen with a pawn. It's like you didn't have backup. You didn't have really a reason for the queen to be there. There was nothing the queen could do there. The queen was useless there. All that happened is you lost your queen, you idiot. And like, that's what they're doing in Europe, it seems like to me. They're putting their queen out there and Trump's going to take it and say, okay, we're fine without European exports. We'd rather have our own cars. Thank you very much. Like, that's what I think. Thanks, Max. Ryan?
I don't know if it was your show or another show, but there's a guy who went to Greenland and he was interviewing people. He would ask them, so would you want to join the States? And some of them were like, well, it'd be okay. And he's like, well, what if Trump gave you $10,000? And they're like, oh, no. What about 100,000? Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Is it U.S. dollars?
Yeah.
Do we get Amazon shopping? Yeah. Like.
But a lot of the people that he interviewed, they were okay with it. They didn't mind. They were saying yes.
Well, I bet.
As long as the price is right,
I guess. Well, and see, the thing is, so for Canada, as I was saying, like, I don't know that we're going to be able to, once Greenland is acquired by the United States, we're not going to be able to choose China, even if we want to, which I think is self-evident. And so America becomes either we trade with them or we get eaten by them.
Well, it was on your show where like the guy on Fox News says back in the Cold War we had a plan to like invade Canada if like the Russians ever like landed. You don't think the like Department of War is like cooking up something along the lines of that now? Brother, you are sorely mistaken.
Yeah, well, right, but what would that look like? Would that look like regime like?
If you want my opinion, I think it'd be surgical strikes against key like infrastructure and maybe like CIA elements acting on the ground and then like extracting Mark Carney, for example, or like key members of government. That's what I could see.
You think they'd extract? I think that. Well, I think
like if we're talking about like say a like invasion, I don't mean like economic.
Oh, okay. So
I mean like if it's an actual invasion, that's how I could see happening. Where like critical infrastructure damage and sabotage, like CIA actors on the ground, maybe like critical strikes here and there, and then like extracting Mark Carney. But like I think economic force looks a lot like what we're going through right now.
I think I was going to say I think economic and I think economic force, people understand that a lot better. I think if all of a sudden you had a Marine coming in and taking out Mark Carney, and Donald Trump saying, "Hey Canada, welcome to the Union," type deal, like congratulations, you're the 51st state. Okay, next video. People would.
Well, that's what it looks like. Yeah. Well, everything Carney's doing is just destroying Canada.
I realize that, and that's what I mean. I can't understand how other people can't see it. But I agree with you. Everything he's done has been like, I'm going to get a deal with Donald Trump in the United States to make sure the USMCA is intact and trade is okay and blah, 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 blah. 6 months later, I am going to get a deal with China, right meow. And like, forget about that whole Donald Trump thing that I said earlier. Don't just, I didn't say that, right? Like, how does that make any sense? How is everybody okay with this? Everybody's not. And like the media seems Greenland just fine.
First, and then the East Coast of Canada.
Yeah, Greenland first. Greenland first, and then basically like it's like Go, or chess is less like this, but Go, once you take an area, you control the area, right? And like once you take Greenland, man, like you're not coming in here, China. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, like the bouncer is out there and they're like, yeah, no, I don't think so. You see that warship right there? Yeah, that's an American warship. So sorry about your luck. Right? Like that's so, but if they're, again, and it doesn't make any sense to me how Trump is like, oh, it's cool that Canada's making a deal with Greenland or with China. It doesn't make any sense to me. Very, very shortly, we're gonna find out. We're in the effed around part for right now, and we're gonna be in the finding out part soon.
Exactly. You, Mark, everybody here, we should have invested in icebreakers like 20 years ago.
Should have invested in silver, buddy. I don't have nearly enough silver for this.
Maybe silver icebreakers.
Silver, yeah. Can you cast the whole thing in silver, please? Thanks, guys. MC?
Well, the problem that the Americans have is the attitude of the normies in Canada, right? Canadians have this thing, we're better than the Americans, and it's been fostered for years, right? We're not going around the globe causing wars and all that kind of crap and all this stuff, right? And at the same time, so because of the Canadian superiority complex about the United States, if the Americans do anything, look what happened with Elbows Up, right? Those people are idiots that don't know what's going on for sure. But they go along with it, and they'll go along with it again. So if the Americans invade, all those idiots are going to go fight the Americans on principle. Now, that would be stupid, and they'll get destroyed.
Yeah.
But they'll go do it anyways.
That takes us to Minnesota.
And it doesn't look good on the news in the States either, right? But if the Americans just let Carney destroy Canada, then they don't have any responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Look, Canada did it to themselves. And if Canadians let Carney destroy Canada and still maintain that anti-American attitude, then we're just stupid.
Well, but we're being we're victims. I would say victims, but stupid victims maybe. I don't know. Victims though.
We're Marx and he's a Carney.
Yeah. Indeed. Thanks, MC and Max. Scott. Nope. Scott, you're muted though.
Yeah. I was just unmuting.
Yep.
Good to see you all. So I think it's really interesting that the day after Mark said New World Order, he's invited by Trump to be on the Gaza Board of Peace.
Oh.
They're in cahoots, folks.
Was Carney invited? I didn't see that. That's fun.
Yep. On the 16th, the day after.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
The Board of Peace. Modi's on that. Who else is on it?
Oh, let me see if there's a
Bibi,
list
probably.
here.
Bibi.
Bibi? Yeah. Israel.
Oh, I'm sure
Germany.
Bibi's in on it.
Yeah, Germany.
And probably Jared Kushner.
Peter Starmer? Maybe. Who knows?
The guy that lives at 666 Fifth Avenue, Jared Kushner.
Yeah. Yes, I did see that. That's interesting. The symbolism is just right in your face if you see it, if you have the right kind of eyes, right?
If you open your eyes. And BJ Tichter, oh man, I did a dig on him. That's a big rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's interesting. Not surprising, but it is certainly interesting.
All I know of him is that he ran away with crypto and nobody asked questions about that at all, which I found funny.
And he's pushing Bitcoin huge now. I guess he invested all that money into Bitcoin directly.
Yeah, it's all in Bitcoin. It was all put in Bitcoin.
That's not the whole picture. He's a crisis actor, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. It's believable. I think again we're being manipulated at levels. I think the whole Iranian thing is a manipulation now. And it's weird because Candace Owens, her positions seem very extreme, but just looking at the Charlie Kirk thing to go back in time a little bit, it's obvious that the official story is kind of hinky, and nobody is asking questions about that. They're attacking Candace, and so every time she comes out with something crazy, I mean, a year ago, 2 years ago, somebody saying that Macron was married to a man in Paris or in France, that would be controversial. But now it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's obviously true, and so. It's
anybody with eyes to see could see that even way back,
right? But I mean, if you tell people how common this actually is, they don't believe you because they can't believe you.
Yeah, they're all into the Baphomet thing. This is all part of their new religion.
And Baphomet is a trans demon, just to read people in who don't understand what is being talked about. It's got horns of a goat, breasts of a woman, and all of the Democrat and a penis, yeah, and all of the Democrats would do the Baphomet like as above, so below. Yeah, they'd keep yeah. I don't want to do it because people accuse me of signing stuff for people. But yeah, weird stuff. And like, so there was a time where I would have not rejected it, but said like, okay, maybe there's elements of that, but that's probably not the main part. And now, after all of the years of doing what I do, man, there's a lot to it, and it's pretty crazy. And we are incentivized as a society, and like Western societies incentivized. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. And if you talk about these things, it's going to bring problems. And not that I don't think that that's true, but there is. Sorry, I've got to. Oh no, it's Steve. Not that I don't think that that's true. That talking about politics and religion is potentially fraught. But if we are not allowed to talk about these things, then the conversation gets controlled by entities that are not our friends and family. It's not a close-knit conversation anymore. It's a much broader conversation that has bad actors, that has ideas that are damaging, that are it's a very, very fraught thing.
And what's their biggest push right now? To go after our free speech and American Second Amendment, just like Trudeau promised to buy our tools off us. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and they do. And the push for removal of speech is just unbelievable. But again, I think it's so egregious. It's just like telling people that like there's a lot of famous actresses that are biologically men, or men who are married to men, powerful men married to men pretending to be women all through history. And if you look at the pictures, like, it's undeniable. It's like, holy smoke, that's a man. Like,
well, they were pushing the chicks with dicks since about the 70s.
Yeah, but even before that too, there was all sorts of stuff, and people reject it. Like, you could tell them, like, hey, this is like a central thing. This is core to the political machine and stuff, and they won't believe you. And like, I can't blame them. Because it's so egregious, it's so crazy that it sounds so bonkers. But again, after doing what I do, my show and research, and watching what happened after COVID, and watching what happened after Pizzagate, and like realizing that, holy smoke, like, the world is absolutely not what they're telling us it is. And when you find out, when you actually ask those questions, like, what are we participating in here, and like what's the best guess that is not the official story? And well, you start sounding like Candace Owens, man. And
well, yeah, like, I can at least speak from my point of view. Is I started to wake up to politics during COVID, when I was like in my first year of like high school, and I've been coming here since like when I was in grade 11.
Nice.
And it's like 4 or 5 years. It's
Perfect.
a wild ride. I believe anything at this point is possible.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, and when they talk about shapeshifters, for a while, I thought they meant like shapeshifters, like they'll change their personalities and stuff. And
it's like metaphorical.
Yeah, but like, now I'm like, holy shit, have you seen these masks? Like, these people can become anybody. And so like, are they
the lizard eyes?
Are they reptiles? Yeah, right? Like, I can believe it. Plausible. I've seen Jurassic Park. Scott, did you have your hand up, or?
Yeah, there are masters at assuming a new identity, taking somebody else's identity, and
talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah. And so you were wondering about people on this Gaza Peace Council. So there's a list here. Okay. The board also includes private equity executive and billionaire Mark Rowan, World Bank president AJ Banga, Turkish Foreign Affairs Minister Hakan Fidan, and Robert Gabriel, a Trump advisor. And we know who all of Trump's advisors are,
Yeah.
And White House said adding Nikolay Mladenov, a former United Nations Middle East envoy, will have a role as well. So it's all globalist and technocratic people.
Interesting. So New World Order. Here we go. Buckle in. I'll have to check that out.
We're going to build a huge data center there.
Yeah. Data is the new gold, they say.
Palantir data center.
Sigh. Well, the struggle continues, I guess. At least it's not Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So.
Oh my God! Hey, I was gonna jam it hard. The movie Skulls way back, like you got started talking about government and universities and the influence and they buy the cars and all that stuff. It was a big thing back then, and we talked about it, and it just got shut down huge. It's all a conspiracy where they, it's a big boys club.
Yeah,
no, I mean?
I think
and
it is.
Isn't that funny that it just kind of
And we're not in it.
Well, they made fun of it kind of in the end. They said, "Oh, that's a super conspiracy movie. Cool. They killed this kid because he knew shit. He was trying to show the world, and you know what I mean. They executed him and a bunch of things and weird stuff in the basements for sororities and things. And you know those movies back late '80s, '90s.
Yeah, I remember them,
Mike, you would know.
Yep.
Okay, so isn't that interesting how that propped up? So it goes to your analogies of what what you were talking about. I just wanted to feed that in that. It was a Hollywood thing too.
Yeah. Yep. They're reinforcing and like, yeah, you have to do this to, well, I mean, it's like pressure. I often talk about Scientology as a cult, right? But like, it's the same thing. You're joining in and like, you're going to do this. And if you don't do this, we're going to pressure you. Pressure. And with that, we've got to say goodbye. It's after 2 and I've got some family stuff to do. So thanks for showing up and hanging out today, everybody. It's always nice to see y'all. And Kinster and Peter and everybody else. It's been really, really good. And everybody out there watching, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.